Well, summer's coming. Time to get those small building jobs ticked off. But be careful. You might be short on time or money, but the last thing you want is to pick a tradie short on standards.
Yet that's what happened to a group of people down south. I paid a visit and found some wrongs to put right, and a lesson we could all do with learning. It's become a regular catch-up, a chance to get things off their chest.
You want to just not have anything to do with them again.
It's just the lying.
Two women from different towns bonding over a bad tradie and finding out they're not alone.
We've met other people who've also had a bad experience.
He says that he can do a job. He can't actually do it.
This is what they expected from his Facebook page.
They look like luxury home kind of jobs.
But this is what they got.
They're very different.
So Bridget and Tash thought, we'll take action. A call to arms to get lots of customers to come to Fair Go.
I don't want anyone else having to deal with this.
And Fair Go went straight to the tradesman himself, who wasn't happy we were investigating his work.
If the work was right in the first place, these things wouldn't happen, would they?
But also, I'm not denying that. There's always two sides to a story.
His story means we're not naming him, even though he's run several companies into the ground. More on that later, but first, the story told by his customers.
17 no-shows.
Took him about 5 times to get the size right. That's when I came up with the name The Tortoise, that we had a tortoise.
She have a nickname for him.
Tash from Queenstown wanted 2 doorways done. Bridget from Wanaka was after a new deck.
So this is the deck that Bridget's talking about. The workmanship looks perfect. But that's because Bridget had to get another builder to finish it off.
She was told even the basics were wrong.
A couple of things that weren't to code, so there needed to be an extra step, and the post just over there was actually not straight. The pile's not being concreted into the ground for the steps.
Never mind the time it was taking.
If you say it's going to take 2 weeks, then yeah, sure, there's a bit of a leeway with that, but like, I don't think it should take 9 months.
For nearly $10,000, Bridget got shoddy work and endless excuses. In Queenstown, Tash paid $3,500 up front for replastering this doorway.
Then he put up the barn slider rail, and it was like, why would you put up the rail when you haven't even got the framing right?
The money was also supposed to cover
Ranch slider door put in there. I kept saying, have you ordered the outside ranch slider door? And he just kept, oh yeah, I must follow that through. And one day I just decided to ring around a couple of companies, and she just said, we don't have an order for that.
no order, but plenty of reasons.
Tested positive for COVID, fractured thumb. It's just been backed into in the car park in Mitre 10. Getting stitches out, yeah, I don't know. And I genuinely felt sorry for the guy. I was like, God, he's having a bad run, until I had this heart-sinking feeling that I was that person that had been scammed.
Buckle up, because we're on a whistle-stop tour of the South. Next stop, Cromwell, where an unhappy customer doesn't want her identity shown.
Just the way he acted toward to us.
She wanted a garage conversion, but got an unfinished project and a legal dispute.
I got my lawyer involved, and they worked out he's owed me over $8,000. He has accepted that he's owed the money, but we never saw the money.
2 years later, she's still owed $8,500 because her lawyer advised her to let it go.
My lawyer said, look, you're just wasting your time. He's not going to pay, and it's going to cost me more to pay my lawyer.
We're off again, tracking the trauma right across Otago, including here in Ōtepoti Dunedin, in Playfair Street, where there's been no sign of fair play after the builder was asked to replace a fence.
He wasn't turning up, and already the excuses were starting. You know, the phone falling off the back of the ute.
He was her husband's choice.
I said, I hope that he's not a cowboy.
Megan, who's a whiz in the kitchen, got busy. And at first, so did the builder. He demoed the old fence and put it in a skip. But there it stayed, and work just stopped.
Then he stopped replying to my husband's text messages and phone calls.
So from a number he wouldn't recognise,
So I sent him a message to say I'm just inquiring about a job, and he rang me straight back.
But he never came back, despite $3,000 having been paid.
At that point, I was like, I can't. We're just going to have to cut our losses.
Have you ever said, "I told you so"?
Yep. Yeah, I have, if I'm honest.
You get the picture. So why did they take this builder on?
It was probably the price.
I asked him if he was a registered builder, and he actually said he was. Now I know he's not.
But they didn't check reviews.
I have definitely learnt my lesson, that's for sure.
I wish I'd done a bit more research into his name.
This is all it takes. Review sites can save you so much trouble. And here's someone who knows that only too well.
I'm Bruce Lindsay, and I'm from NoCowboys.
For 20 years, the NoCowboys sites allowed reviews to be posted, with trust being key.
We are able to track, and we do, where the reviews are coming from, and we watch for duplications to make sure that there's no fake reviews being added. Also, the businesses can actually reply with their side of the story.
Which brings us to a little bit more of this builder's story. We tell it like his customers see it.
You know, getting unprofessional quotes, the work being substandard, ghosting them.
Why don't I give you a list of customers that you can ring and get good reviews off?
That's absolutely fine.
NoCowboys welcomes tradies taking positive action to balance their overall rating, and this builder said he'd make this happen on their site.
He can put it right. All he has to do is approach the hundreds, as he says, of positive customers he has that have loved his work, get them to leave reviews.
He managed a couple and put us onto one who said his work was okay. But most reviews are bad, and they don't mince their words. The builder wanted them gone, even threatening legal action.
The emails that we sent to him, many of them had requests for evidence along the lines of, I did that job and I did it well and I've got pictures to prove it. Please send it through, but never. It was just blank then.
Lots of questions piling up, so time for another phone call. These three women all have an axe to grind as customers of an odd job builder. They've put up with poor workmanship and months of no-shows. They want nothing more to do with him, so we'll ask the questions about what's been going on, starting with the photos on his Facebook page.
There are some pictures on there that don't appear to be your work.
I went on as ideas. This is what we can do.
That could be a little misleading. And what about the money he still owes?
I think everybody's being paid back.
In some cases it's true, but it wasn't easy. Bridgette had to threaten legal action before getting $2,000 for repairs out of the $10,000 she paid.
Probably one of the most stressful times trying to deal with all of this.
Tash had a false start with a transaction screenshot.
And I showed it to my 14-year-old son, who looked at it and he went, "Mum, that's a set-up future payment and it's not been confirmed." I was like, oh my God, you're right. How could I? Yeah, you're right. And so that really infuriated me.
She channeled that anger setting up an insulting Facebook page. Then he paid her back. Well, minus $500.
I made it inactive that night.
But his Cromwell customer, who was owed $8,500, wasn't so lucky.
She's never seen that money, and you had 15 days to pay it.
I went to my lawyer and I hadn't heard any more.
We'll come back to that, but first, what's his explanation for letting so many customers down?
Because I wasn't really interested in the work and I had a lot of family and mental health issues.
His doctor confirmed he's had several years of a mental health condition. Yet what his customers see is someone who's still running businesses, still causing them to suffer.
I was very low. And I felt really ashamed.
They still want to be able to warn other people against using his companies. Do you think that that's fair, justified?
It's fair and it is justified. I mean, we all have consequences we face in life. It doesn't give him an excuse to do this to the other people.
It's a really hard call for fair go, but on the advice of the builder's doctor, we're not using his name. So we ask him for assurance his days of running his own business are over.
I'm not doing it.
So what will you do in the future?
I'll just work for somebody.
Which is a little confusing.
I was just checking out on companies' records, and it looks like just this month that you started another company.
Yeah, we're not doing anything. We thought we would do it, but we're not doing it.
But then why would you set up a company?
We just keep the name, just in case one day, but I just can't, I honestly just can't do it. I'll just work for somebody.
We do get a guarantee in writing, no more running his own business. We also remind him he still owes money and, well, we didn't see this coming.
If that's what she's owed, I'll pay her straight away.
Oh, amazing.
So a nice surprise for his customer in Cromwell. After getting proof, we break the news he's transferred her $8,500.
Oh my God, did he? Oh wow, really, really happy.
How are you going to use it?
Have to go to the tax department.
Something nice, I hope.
Or just a nice dinner with the family.
These two are disappointed his name's not out there.
I just don't want anybody else to have that experience. It was just exhausting.
But their friendship has done some good, a debt repaid, and a reminder that review sites have to be the first place to go.
It's ultimate. You really have to do it. It's not just No Cowboys, it's all of the review sites. And don't ever bypass that. Always do your due diligence.
Look, I know without a name you can't check this builder out, but the point is to check the reviews of any person you're hiring. And hopefully this guy won't be a problem anymore because we have it in writing. He won't run a business direct to customers again. And I'm sure you'll let us know if he does.
You will. Nice work, Jill. And great tips. There's lessons we can learn from that.